Okay, I'm going to try to do my next blog using video instead of typing it up. I brought some notes with me from my last posting just so I can make sure that I update all the information. My last post, I just had my fibro scan done and my biopsy done. And then I had to wait for the results and see my hepatologist. It was a disappointing appointment because I was sort of hoping to be doing my treatment this year. First thing the hepatologist said was that the drugs weren't going to be available, the new drugs weren't going to be available here until next year, so I actually don't have an appointment to even see him again until next year. So that means the whole year everything's just put off. So I feel like I'm spending the whole year just waiting. In the meantime, the tests for the test results were kind of good news, bad news. He was right. My inflammation wasn't as high as fibro tests were indicating. They were indicating, I think, a grade 3 inflammation, and I actually have a grade 2 inflammation. So I've gone from a grade 1 inflammation to a grade 2 inflammation since I was diagnosed. But what was surprising for him was my amount of fibrosis. So he had his pharmacist looking into it to see if there were any of my medications that could be switched to something even less stressful on the liver, and then they could switch me to that. And his hope was it would give my liver a chance to heal itself a little. He says it will never be able to heal itself until I get rid of the Hep C totally, but it could still do some healing and buy me some more time. So he referred it to his pharmacist to look over on the list. I haven't heard anything back from her, but she contacted my doctors. My HIV doctor, we were planning on switching me to a regimen that requires no protease inhibitors with a new drug that's out now. So he sent me for, it's called an ultra-sensitive viral load test, which right now the viral load test measures for copies, used to measure for copies 50 and above, now it measures copies 40 and above. This test he sent me for can measure for copies 2 and above. But when they took the blood for that test, it turned out that I was already over 40 copies. I had 49 copies. And they've done a few tests since, and I just hover in between like 30 and 40. I never seem to go. So his doctor's unsure if that means anything, if it means something, what it means. His thoughts are it means something, so that we should be switching my drug regimen, but we're just not sure how to go. The one thing it does cancel out, though, is that whatever regimen I take, I'm going to have to continue to take a protease inhibitor with it, which means I continue to take ritonavir with it, which has been a big nightmare for me lately because I've had just constant, non-stop diarrhea. I believe it's the ritonavir causing it. And I've taken enough Imodium so far to block the Assiniboine River, and it still flows. One thing I did forget was last time I was talking about my television, that I had lost my stations and I had to choose whether I was going to live without the stations or pay the extra money every month to get my favorite stations back. Well, I caved in and decided to pay the extra money every month. So I have my stations back. To next week email my HIV doctor and just give him a little prompt asking, what are we going to do about my treatment now? What do you want to do? As I said, we have a few options going around. He's talking about adding a third drug, but there's tests out saying that adding a third drug doesn't help. There's some doctors that think you should do nothing at all, that this is just background noise, these fluctuations and blips in my viral load. But my doctor had studies that he had found at a conference he'd just been at recently, showing that people like me who hover like between 30 and 40 in the viral load range usually fail treatment, not usually fail treatment, but have a higher chance of failing treatment. So he feels there seems to be some connection to, unless you can get the viral load lower than that, your treatment's not working the best that it can. And other than that, when it comes to the Hep C, I just, again, before I was wandering in failure land for a while after I failed my last treatment, and now I just seem to be wandering in limbo, just, as I said, just waiting for next year when I can finally give this another shot and hopefully rid myself of the Hep C virus, and then I only have one virus to contend with. And that's it for now, and I'll make another posting, try to do it sooner, try to make the gap less far between postings like I did for this one. One thing I forgot for people who notice such things, hair. I have had a shaved head since 1994, and it's just turned out I got hit by some sort of bug over the winter, and basically winter through spring I just felt so horrible. I didn't feel like shaving, I didn't feel like doing anything, so I had a beard, I had hair. And when I started feeling better, I said I haven't had hair for about 15 years, so I thought, well, let's try hair for a change. So I just got a haircut, shaved the beard, and I don't know, try the hair for a while, see if I like it. If not, it's very easy to go back to shaving again.